All right. You ready to go? Mm-hmm. 3, 2.
It's a bummer that this is like what my face looks like.
3, 2, 1. Want to hear a bad roast I got today from this doctor who also helped me with my stain? She's like, let me help you with that. And then she was like, doing my stain. And I was like, take it easy.
What do you mean doing my stain?
She was
disgusting.
She was doing my stain.
Disgusting.
She goes, I show her a clip of us, and she goes, oh, you look like brother and sister. And I go, no, that's Alyssa and Libby.
I don't think we look alike at all.
No, this will not surprise you. This was not a WHITE person.
You don't have to spell out white.
Why? It's offensive.
Yeah.
People of color have told me I look like Ben Affleck. They told me they can't tell me apart from the person in 725, the apartment, for years now.
Right. What's funny about people thinking that you look like our upstairs neighbor is that, one, you don't, but two,
big-headed white guys. Yeah,
you are big-headed white guys, and you also both have like a certain type of personality, which is
jolly.
Yeah. You're both pretty upbeat, but his wife and I don't look anything alike.
No.
And the kids don't look alike, so it is always surprising because, like, I don't know, they kind of move as a unit. We kind of move as a unit. I don't know.
Wow, that was cool.
What do you mean?
You said we move as a unit.
We do. When you have little kids, you it's literally like the New Yorker cartoon of like things like hanging off of you. You're just like, because it's like once you've decided on your destination, it doesn't matter if like 3 out of the 4 of you are like dead set against it. Like you will go. It's like I was thinking about this when I was coming back from the grocery store. You know how you always say it's like my version of like World's Strongest Man competition. Mm-hmm. And I take the bags and I like.
Yeah. What was that called? What was that event called?
It's the something carry.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like missile carry or something. It's not that.
It's not the missile carry. The anvil carry. What is it?
Another thing that we
I don't know.
share in common is we both do love the World's Strongest Man. That was
World's Strongest Man is like maybe my favorite.
I'm Bill Kazmaier here.
I love Bill Kazmaier. All their names were just like absolutely insane. There's literally a person named Magnus Magnuson. It's like crazy.
Well, we are going to get back to your story. Hold your thought.
And my most favorite thing about World's Strongest Man, which like there was one Thanksgiving where John, my brother and I did not stop watching for about 18 hours to the point where my dad walked in, like entire meals have like passed us by, and he walked in, he's like, all they're doing is picking stuff up, all they're doing, and we were like, it's so cool, like, and then he like threatened to turn it off, and we were like, oh my god, but we're about to find out who won.
Oh, it's Atlas Stones.
Or the Fingal Fingers. We love the Fingal Fingers.
When they would do a test day at Princeton, and our strength coach, Jason Gallucci, who played at Penn State, was like, Savage, get in the seat. And I would narrate in World's Strongest Man, and I'll go, Savage Vern Savagson of Norway getting into the seat. He's got to get 8 reps to win. And he'd be like, shut the fuck up, Noah.
We were also like obsessed with their size and shape because the guys who were best at it were quite short. And then
no, I don't know about that.
Yeah, there was. And then at one point there was like one massively tall guy who showed up, who literally like was a Viking who like fell off the boat, and was like when he did Atlas Stones, like it was just like absolutely no problem. But it was much harder for him to do some of the other things because when you're lower to the ground, your center of gravity is different. Yeah. So like, I mean, we talk about this too as it pertains to MTV's The Challenge. Another exciting physical...
But what was your point about Trader Joe's before you went down?
Oh, my point is, like, as a mom, if there's any type of, like, obstacle in your way, whether it's a child screaming and hanging off of you, what are you doing? Did they give you a paper straw?
ASMR, yeah.
Sucks, right?
I love having my Diet Coke through a toilet paper
Can I tell you something? You know, have you seen those TikToks about the crispy Diet Coke?
What is it in, though? I have not. It's in a plastic cup. That's what's so stupid.
So stupid. But
this one's for you, sea turtles.
But I'm saying the whole point of having a crispy Diet Coke that goes straight into your brainstem is that it needs to be in a crispy plastic straw. It's not that I want to kill the sea turtles, obviously.
Yeah.
But even when people give you like the reusable like metal straw and it's just like clanging around your fillings. You're like,
I'm not gonna take out a straw like it's a flute, and I'm in studio band. Hold on, let me get my straw. When people do that, I go, "You're insane. Just drink right from the cup."
Who has done that?
I've seen somebody pull out a little case and be like,
a case,
and like it's got like a little cleaner, and it's like.
Is this someone that you're a blood relative of?
I know you think it's my sister, but it's not. I saw this wackadoo pull out a straw. I've seen it. I don't remember.
What, at like an open mic?
They're like 5 concussions. I don't remember anything.
I know, you do have CTE.
I 100% have CTE. When I drive my car off a bridge and set myself on fire.
People think that this is supposed to be the earth and that's your head, but actually that's your real head.
Yeah.
This is your brain on drugs. How many concussions did you get?
I've had 5. Let me take you through my concussions real quick.
I don't want to hear
Just
about
quick.
Okay.
Whose name was added as a complete jam-in and whose name is here? Anyway, when I was 7, I fell off a hammock and I smashed my face into a brick.
Ugh.
Concussion 1. In high school, I got a concussion and started running the offense for my old high school's team and asking people about plays that didn't exist. That's concussion 2. Concussion 3 was a lob pass thrown and I turned and I got an elbow from John Reynolds, lacerated my face, missed a couple practices, couldn't catch the ball, and the coach were like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And I was like, and then they tested me and they're like, "He's severely concussed." Like, so I guess that's how many? 3?
We're up to 3. There was the time 3 days ago where you stepped on your own sticky trap and fell into the wall.
Oh yeah, and then
you also knocked over the children's playpen recently.
knocked over. That's 4. When I dislocated my shoulder and smashed my face as a 25-year-old, and then I thought the actual coach of the Cavaliers was there. That's probably one of them.
Yikes.
With Ben Shapiro, he was on that team. Shout out to Ben Shapiro.
He's never going to listen to this.
Oh.
I once fell in the shower. You know the story.
Yeah, and your dad had to come in, and you were naked and were an adult.
Well, I was in the shower, so I wasn't fully clothed.
You were naked, I was saying you were an adult, naked woman, and your dad had to come scoop your slipping ass up off the rails there.
Thank God he did, because I would have drowned.
I think you would have just like.
What do you think happens? You drown.
You don't drown in the shower.
You surely can. You block the drain. With your big fat ass, your big post-college fat butt.
All your hair clogs the drain over several hours.
Yeah, and you're so sick from the head injury that you throw up and then you choke on your own vomit.
I almost drowned in a Hampton Inn in Raleigh, North Carolina once.
Wow.
See?
Drunk, passed out in the tub.
Oh,
with
God.
With the shower running,
This is what I'm saying.
Whoa.
But then in my drunken laydown, I kicked the drain.
No.
And my head was below, and I woke up
My
choking
God.
on water.
Whoa, that's dark, dude.
Anyway, back to the show.
Wow. I don't know if I'm a very strong swimmer. I've never drowned.
But this was like not that I was drunk, but I fell in the shower and I was commuting to work with my dad at that point in my life. And so he was like waiting for me in the car and he was like, "Where is she?" Like, like I haven't even seen her come downstairs. So he was going up to be like, he thought that I just like hit my alarm and didn't get out of bed. And then he heard the shower running. And so he was like banging on the door and I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, God.
I mean, I think he probably had a panic attack. It's like really scary.
It's a stressful morning when you're commuting with your adult daughter already and you're late and then you have to burst down the door and take her naked body off the floor. Yeah, it's not an ideal start.
You keep saying adult. I was barely an adult. I was just like a blob.
My point is that if there's a kid and they're in the shower and you have to save them, that's like one thing.
Right. I agree.
I saw your dad naked, okay? And I experienced that. It wasn't on purpose. And I'm saying that
I'm sure it was on purpose.
It's different when you're adults.
You
even
were
two,
dying to
two
see
bros.
my dad naked. You're so weird. So pop quiz. Do you think I went to work that day?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did.
You had to. You're broke.
I had no money.
There was no sick days. I was thinking about...
Although when I got to work, I did throw up and my boss was like, "You got to go home." He's like,
Oh, that's nice.
He was like, I mean, I told him what happened. I fell in the shower and he was like, "I'm very concerned that you're like not," he's like, "You shouldn't be staring at a screen all day if you've been concussed."
I forgot one of my key concussions.
Oh.
Christmas Day, 14 years old, on the varsity, tried to snowboard down a patch of ice, smashed my head.
Stupid.
Missed a game.
Stupid.
Yeah. So was that 4 or 5? I don't know. I'm concussed. You count them.
I don't know.
So we've had a rough stretch of parenting. Indira's sick. You got COVID. I got COVID. And then a mouse in the house.
A mouse in the house is really taken over our lives. And it is funny because I feel like everyone I've spoken to about the situation, the vermin, is very unfazed. Everyone's just like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, not live with mice?
Well, we've had mice. I had mice at 33rd Street. We had mice at 13th briefly when they redid the floors.
The problem is when you
I used to live with them at 33rd.
The problem is when you have a mouse and you even hear this, like, someone, like, turns on the faucet next door and it's like, you're like, it's in here. It's like, it could be anywhere. And they are disgusting, like, even just to think about. Like, a bug is disgusting to me, like a big old cockroach.
Yeah.
But I'll step on him. The only problem is, like, when you don't step on him fast enough and now he's somewhere, like you've lost him. So he could be anywhere.
When I lived at, let's go back because I had an amazing mouse encounters. 33rd Street, we just had an open crawl space off one of the rooms. You're on the second floor above a restaurant.
Wait. What?
We lived on the second floor above a restaurant. You still with me?
But what do you mean an open, what do you mean an open crawl space to what? Like, what are you talking about?
What do you mean to friggin' Narnia? What do you think to a storage area? Like
a storage area for what?
Alyssa, apartment had a little wooden door with a little wink hole, and you pull down, you could shove your golf clubs in there or whatever. But somebody had pulled it out and just like put a bunch of shit in front of it. So we were just like open air into the wall. So we'd be sitting there, and then the trash would just be like, shh, and there'd just be like a shh, and like, oh fuck, there's a mouse in the trash again. And then we'd sit on the couch sometimes, and a mouse would just scurry out of the back of the couch.
Ew!
Yeah, so we were just so busy drinking that we were like, do you think that it's coming out of that big hole over there? And we were like, no, we have to go to Brother
Jimmy's. I don't understand how you like literally walked in. You were like, oh, a huge gaping hole in the wall. Let's not address it at all.
We didn't do anything to address it.
You didn't even put the couch in front of it, like something?
We didn't try to seal anything near anywhere. We didn't do anything other than like at one point we're like, ooh. Kenny was like, I remember he was so pained. He was like, I think they're living in the couch. And I was like, oh yeah. So I had two couches.
I'm also picturing like just like under like the fabric of the upholstery, they're just like little like bodies like moving through, and Kenny's like, is there a mouse in there? You're like, oh yeah.
So I had a couch.
They're just like coming over you like the fucking Rat King, and you're just like, you're like, is there a mouse? Like,
awful.
Ugh.
So there was a mouse. So there's two couches. One was like more porous where they were in. They were like, and then I had my own couch, which I had actually got from Billy May. Shout out my high school teammate. And it was very long. Remember that yellow couch? Did I try to move it in with you?
Hell no.
I fit on this couch. I would lay this way and watch TV.
You tried to move in your super tight tee with a rosary painted on it. And
I was too fat.
I was like, absolutely not. But we didn't keep any of your furniture. First of all, you only had like a rug on the ground. I mean, like you slept on like a cot on the ground. It was like disgusting.
I came like a 1930s hobo. I just had my stick and my clothes.
You did though. You had a car, which you were like, you know.
I was like, what's up? I got a car. I could drive. Ugh. Having a car in the city is like having a car in high school. You're like, I got a car. People are like, what?
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Not at your high school, rich kid. But boom, burned. So I had this other couch.
You grew up in Weston.
Shout out Weston. A lot of shout outs. Shout out Kyle Dunnigan.
Oh yeah.
He's from Weston. So the other couch was.
You know who's from Armonk?
Nobody.
Peter Gallagher.
Oh, who's that?
Sandy from the OC. Are you nuts?
Oh, I don't know who that is. Sounds lovely. So the other couch.
The dad with the eyebrows?
Oh, okay. Now I know who it is. So the other couch was less
very famous.
Porous, so I would just only sit on that couch and be like, my couch is good. I don't have
Can I tell you something?
mice in my couch.
If I ever sat on a couch and someone was like, oh, that's our porous couch, I would get the hell out of there so fast.
We had like Carly was like in there, so like she was just around all this. So at one point we realized.
She must have been like really in denial.
Listen, for once, please. So at one point we realized that the mice are in the couch, and we decided to get them out. Right. So I have the two. We each get two shoes, and Buck, who is enormous and jacked, is like, all right, I'm going to lift up the couch. So he lifts it up. I see the mouse run up the couch to the top, leap onto his shoulder. He goes, ah. He's like, yeah. It runs and tries to skirt the wall. And I go, pew. Ninja star a dress shoe, and I kill the mouse. I swear to God that happened. And, one of our big things was like, no one ever lies because his stories are so outrageous. And they both were like, I would have never believed that happened unless I saw it.
I mean, that is so gross. Like, I really like. So just to take people into like my reality. So I went to San Francisco for work. And on my way home, I decided that the Wi-Fi kept going in and out. They kept going like, when they make those announcements, they're like, oh, like, we're going to try resetting the Wi-Fi. And you're like, we're hurtling through the air. it's like, oh, like, do you have your two-factor authentication turned on? Like, it's so stupid. It's like, oh, are you having trouble getting a signal as we fly over Wyoming? Like, I don't even think people on the ground have good reception down here. So I'm like, I had already decided. I brought this book that I wanted to read. I was like, everyone on the plane is coming back from the same conference. Everyone's like tired, doesn't want to like do anything. What do I even think I'm going to accomplish on this plane? And like too annoying to keep like refreshing. So like read the book and don't even check my phone. And when I land at, I don't know, 1:00 in the morning or something, I have 37 text messages just from you that are detailing the quote unquote terrorists that have infiltrated our home. You're like, when you get here, you have to sleep on the couch. I'm so tired. I've been sleeping in like horrible, uncomfortable bed all week, on my feet all day. You're like, there's mice everywhere. Like they have us surrounded. You were the level of fear.
I wasn't afraid. Let me interject here and correct factual inaccuracies. We discovered the mouse because
Alyssa, are you done?
I mean,
yeah. Thank you. I think we're doing a good job not interrupting each other today.
Good job. I just
Okay,
want to make
good.
sure you were finished with your statement.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the level of, I'm not. I think you look great. Okay, I don't want to change anything about you.
Wow, here comes a backhanded compliment.
But the average size of a mouse is not like 6'4". Like you're so much bigger than a mouse.
That's not what it is. So
you lived with them in your couch before.
I know. I'm trying to set the table and try to understand why. I think it's our beautiful cute little baby named Pearl, who's all pink and soft. I don't want her having any mice around her.
Ew.
So I don't care about myself. But I come in from golf, we go. She goes, we have a problem. We have a little friend. She's like, I saw a little furry thing against the wall. So then it scurries into the wall. And we don't see it as we kind of clear away the toys and bag them up.
Ugh.
But then I go to the bedroom and I turn the light on real quick to try to startle it out of wherever it is. And it goes and scurries into the closet. So I've spent the last 4 days like filling holes, setting traps, spraying mint spray everywhere. And luckily, knock on wood, we did not see it. We did not see new droppings. We've sealed our shit airtight. That apartment is buoyant, man. That thing could float. It is. All cracks have been sealed.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I was talking to my brother about the mouse situation, and he said that every single apartment he's has had mice. Yeah. And including his now suburban home. Mm-hmm. And then he said the funniest thing. He goes, I'm not proud of it. It's so funny. I do think so I'm just not really a big like pet person, and I understand people love their pets and I like respect that about them, and that's like what they choose to have in their home.
Yeah.
But honestly, even coming home and like having like a dog there or whatever like kind of like creeps me out. Like I just don't want to have an animal of any kind in my house.
You hate animals. You are
I don't hate
you
animals.
hate dogs and old people. You're like the bad guy from Tin
I just
Cup.
sent Allison this TikTok of someone like a freaking horse fell into their in-ground pool.
Tell me you're rich and poor at the same time.
Literally, like they have the tarp covering the pool. It's like they close it, and the horse is like big head is just like. Like
guys, like listen, we can get the horse, but we can't go in ground.
I was like, how are? And they were like literally in the caption, they're like, the horse is fine. But I'm like, how did the horse like? just knowing there's animals around of any kind like really creep me out. And then like because we live in New York City and we really do live in a box, like it's a nice box, but it's a box, I get very like skeeved. Like I just don't like it.
Oh, so I experienced mansplaining, by the way, from these exterminators. Because they come in, they've got their steel wool, which doesn't work. You need steel wool and then seal it up with. By the way, people are going to be like, "What the fuck is this episode?" But
it's about vermin.
They come in and they're always like, "Put steel wool in there," and I'm like, "No, that doesn't work. You got to get the foamy spray and spray all the cracks." So then I'm spending the whole week. I had 2 exterminator visits where I go, "Well, that's a hole in the wall," and they go, "Nah, it's too small. You can get through there." And I go,
they're very small.
Just do it. You're here. So I had to there's been 4 visits of maintenance people, exterminators. I've done stuff myself. I've been spraying and laying traps. It's dominated my whole life, but now I'm over it because we've gone 24 hours with no sightings and no droppings.
It's just gross. I just
and we cleaned everything everywhere.
Yeah. But I just think we were already, I mean, it's hard when you have little kids and they're snacking, and also you have someone else who likes to wiggle his way into the couch and eat sorts of goodies over there. But I'm like, I don't even think it was food. I think that
it was whole.
I just think that wherever he's coming from, whether it's across the hall or down the hall or whatever, it's just along his pathway to wherever he's going to go. And they usually like water. So the fact that we didn't see him near a pipe is odd.
They like water sports too.
They you've seen the squirrel on
skiing, water skiing, wakeboarding.
Yeah. I don't know. I just
I think he's out. I think the hole opened up.
You know when you see tourists feeding squirrels in the park? It's I have a physical reaction. I'm like, dude, that's a rat. That's a rat.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about when the plague was popular.
Yep.
And there were rats everywhere. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about how little.
It couldn't have been worse than it is now in New York City.
I was nothing has changed.
Yeah.
It's just
we just have toilets now.
We're
the rats are the same.
Everyone has this same disease, but we're not gonna try to fix the rat problem.
Well, Mayor Adams, good segue, said he was going to kill all the rats. And what did he do instead?
He got ratted out.
Paid it. Oh, good.
all the rats had a community meeting. They were like, get him.
He didn't do shit. What is he indicted for? By the way, break some news.
I don't know, but in one of the documents I read, he kept spelling Istanbul, Turkey, as Instable.
No.
And that is funny.
My mother grew up in Istanbul. Istanbul Boulevard in the Bronx.
He was taking bribes from foreign countries, and he was committing fraud. Also, we already knew, before he got indicted, we already knew that whatever that Midtown restaurant that his buddies own was a money laundering nonsense place. The New Yorker sent their food critic there or whatever, and the review is so funny because they were like, what is this? It's just a front. And
there wasn't a menu or
yeah, there was 4 things on the menu, but both guys who own the restaurant were just sitting staring at the reporter the whole time. They were like, what is this? And then Mayor Adams showed up at one point and pretended to be vegan, but he ate a steak behind the curtain. It was so weird. I don't know. He always kind of seemed like a scam artist, and I think he was.
Well, the one unifying factor in all of politics and all of New Yorkers was that everybody hated de Blasio.
Yeah.
Everybody. You could have a Trump guy with a Hulk Hogan sweatshirt on, lifting weights, talking about Trump, and he would meet the most Bernie bro ever, and they'd be like, yeah, but de Blasio, the worst.
Did you see the Onion's article about de Blasio?
Yeah.
It's really funny.
It was guess it's pretty hard to
well.
suck ass.
Guess it's not that easy to find a mayor who doesn't suck ass. I am kind of a de Blasio apologist in the sense that I do think he's semi-unhinged, and he's so tall, and then he was separated from his wife and then got back together with his wife basically so he could be in office, and then they broke up again because she's gay, and she was gay the whole time, and then he just starts like making out with women at that bar on the Upper West Side, which I think is
What bar?
it's the one like outside of Lincoln Center. You know, we went there with Baker and John.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's like on a roof, kind of.
Terralucci Avino. Speaking of random makeouts, we used to see Matt Dillon all the time. One time he was with this really good-looking young woman, and he was almost like asleep in the booth, and he was like eating soup while laying down.
No.
We witnessed that.
You're conflating two stories.
Oh, I am?
That was at Batola when Allison and I saw him sharing a bowl of soup with someone who was young enough to be his daughter.
Oh,
and it was
God.
like, and then literally to this day we'll like be laughing because I'm like, imagine going to a restaurant and be like, we'll have the minestrone to split.
So
it's
bad.
literally disgusting. It's like there's no possible way.
It reminds me of a cringe moment I had where I was at a work dinner where all the I was like somehow getting hooked up with free drinks. This is years ago, and I was like having beers, but I was like, I don't really need another one. And then I go, I'll just have a half a beer, and the bartender's like, we don't do half beers. Like, what the? And as soon as I said it, I go, half a beer? Like, act like you've been here before.
That's like when you see someone who's like underage go to like order
let me
a
get
drink.
a half beer.
And they're like, I'll have a beer, and they're like, oh, like what kind do you want? And they're like, the beer one. It's like,
Yeah.
but I remember
Tough.
that kind of stress. You're like, sound cool. You're like,
Yeah.
I'll take a Coors. It's like you can't say Bud Light with confidence when you're 15. You just
Just go
can't.
with the old one. Oh, Guinness.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
old people drink,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Right.
You get a gin and tonic. You're like, why am I
Also,
having this?
no one drank beer in my house growing up, really. So, like, I didn't have, like, until I
Yeah.
got to college, I didn't really have, like, an example. And then any beer I saw in high school was, like, too cheap to, like, you couldn't, like, go to a bar and be like, I'll have a Natty Light. They'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it is hard. Keystone. Did you drink a lot of Keystone?
Keystone. Yeah.
I saw a guy sit in a chair, Big Scott, who played at TCNJ,
Okay.
and drink a 30 of Keystone and like not get up to pee or anything. He's like, oh, 6 more to go.
What?
And just pound.
Ugh.
I witnessed that. I got
Keystone-
a lot of cool stories.
At
Yeah.
a bar?
No, he was at a recliner in his own house. This is pre-gaming. He drank 30 beers to pregame, and then he stood up and was like, oh, I need hard alcohol now.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
He was like Scooby-Doo.
I mean, I don't like that never made any sense to me, like why you would drink that many beers before you went out, because
No.
they are filling.
When I talk to kids and mentor them in college, I go,
Hard alcohol first.
drink hard alcohol first.
Avoid wine. It's going to be very cheap. It's going to make you sick.
Never drink wine in college. And I also say, you don't have to be the drunkest person at the party. Be like the 5th drunkest person. You have more fun.
I agree with that.
Like, by all means, like, you're in college, go get drunk, but you don't need to be like the drunkest human alive at this party. It will not be more fun.
I feel like what's hard about drinking in college is that, especially if you weren't a drinker before, you hear people like tell drunk stories and be like, I was so drunk, I did this, or I would do whatever. And you don't really have a concept of what being drunk means.
Yeah.
But actually there's like a very broad spectrum of being drunk. Like you could be like drunk and fun and like being like, oh, like I don't think I need a coat, even though it's like 30 degrees outside. Or you could be like really drunk and it's dangerous, but it's like,
Yeah.
you don't, as a young person, you have no idea what the difference between those two things are.
No. And your fun plateaus.
Of course.
Speaking of fun, I wanted to ask you,
You want to what?
I wanted to ask you
Oh,
something.
speaking of fun, I honestly, in my head, I heard,
That's like when I used to say, I work on this show called It's Me or the Dog. And people would go, Smee?
that's like whenever you call to make a
Smee or the
reservation,
dog?
make a reservation for something, and
Yeah.
you go, it's Noah, and they go, Miller?
Yep. And
Miller?
I go,
Miller doesn't sound anything like Noah.
here's the most annoying thing, probably in the world. I go, my email is my
you did
initials,
this to
then my
yourself.
whole name.
You did this to yourself.
I go, it's my initials, then my whole name. nsnoahsavage@gmail.com.
Why would you announce your email?
Email me questions, email me pictures of your feet
Mice.
and of mice. And every time they go, so nsavage@gmail, and I go, no, NSNOA.
But you have no one to blame but yourself.
Why?
You chose that email.
Because no Savage was taken.
So why don't you just change it now?
To what?
N Savage.
Taken.
I mean, N Savage 35.
I wanted to ask
Savage
you.
69?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. 69 man 42 at AOL.com. I wanted to ask you about work trips.
Okay. What do you want to know?
What's your strat? what's your hot tips? I keep touching the mic. I don't know why.
I don't know what you're doing over there.
Fishity, baby. I got a lot of caffeine in me. Let's go.
Work trips. Well, here's my thing with work trips. Now that we all live in this like work from home lifestyle, I just don't really understand why a work trip would ever be more than like one night. Mm-hmm. And honestly, everyone going is an adult. Mm-hmm. So that's really all the socialization you have for other adults. Like, if my trip wasn't so far and we just like had, like, we've done it in New York, right? Where the conference is all day in New York and then we have like a happy hour or like a dinner. Mm-hmm. And then you go home.
That's plenty. You're like 12 hours. Okay.
And then like, if anything, everyone's kind of like, oh, we're not coming in tomorrow because not because we're like hungover or whatever, but it's like you actually need a break from the like over socialization of it. Like, even if you go out to dinner with everyone, like when I was at this conference, it's like everyone from the conference is still like at the restaurant that you're at. You cannot get a break until you physically go into your room and close the door. And it was fine. I mean, I thought stupidly, because I haven't been on a work trip in years and years and years. Mm-hmm. I really thought like, oh, I'm going to have like some downtime.
No. You never do.
And I really like to the extreme. I did not.
Can I use some tips that I do on my pharma work trips?
Yeah, but your pharma work trips are different because you're going to meet with other internal employees.
But I've also done ones like I did with you or that you just did where I stood near a booth.
Yeah.
But here's my hot tips.
Okay.
Number one.
Hot tip.
If the meeting starts at 8 and breakfast starts at 7, you get to breakfast at 10 of 8. You scarf down your eggs. You don't need extra time at meals. Number one. Number two.
I didn't get breakfast and my meeting started at 6, but keep going.
You sleep during lunch.
I didn't get a lunch break.
You eat from 12 to 12:08. You're up to the room at 12:10. You're back down at 12:55 for the 1 o'clock start.
But I don't get breaks. I don't get a lunch break.
Number 3, drink as much as humanly possible between 5 and 8.
Yeah, and then shut it down.
Stop drinking, but you can stay out. Like in San Antonio, I went happy hour into more happy hour, poker, switch to seltzer, in bed by midnight.
My thing was we had one happy hour. My event ended at like 6. And then happy hour didn't technically start until like 7:30 or 8. But we were like setting up, even though there was like nothing to set up. So I went over early. I was first in line to get a drink. So like already you're like, I need a drink.
Yep.
And then by, I would say 9:30 or 10, like I left.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to a second location. Like some people like moved around to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I absolutely do not need to do that. Like I would add on to that tip was like when you see the window, like the window of opportunity to leave is actually like quite important. And like once you see it, you have to go, because if you go, oh, I guess I'll have one more or whatever, it's too late. Now you're done.
And every time you get into that hotel bed, whether it's 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, midnight, slightly after midnight, you go, what was I thinking being out? This is amazing. I get a hotel room, no kids. Oh my God.
And I was waking up so early anyway. So like every time I went to sleep in that hotel room, it felt like, you know, like in the early days of having a baby where you're like, I'm so tired. Let me just close my eyes for a minute. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter if you sleep for an hour or sleep for 5 hours. You're like, I just fell asleep. Yeah. That's how it felt. Like it was like, it really was like a...
Yeah, I mean, I can do...
It was a long day.
I've had days where... At meetings where if the meeting is like we just sit there and listen, that's my absolute hell. Yeah. And I've actually attempted to be like, I don't want to feel like crap tomorrow. I'm going to not drink tonight or not go out or not do anything. And then I'm sitting there like alert, and then that's even worse. I'm like all day long. Thought that would make you laugh. I really committed, and
I liked it.
A lot of things jiggled for no laughter over there. Okay, thank you.
I did just watch a great song. I was thinking of you on TikTok, although I've been banned from sending you good TikToks. But he just...
No, you haven't.
Yeah, you told me to stop.
No, I said you have mental problems.
That's not from TikTok.
You interpreted that as don't send.
Yeah, well.
And then when I open it up, there's like these hoes who are like, I'm a kindergarten teacher, but guess what's underneath? And I'm like, I don't even go on this app, so how did they find me?
The internet's dark. Anyway, he remixed Working 9 to 5, but the lyrics are just like, working 8 to 9, and then I'm in the bathroom.
Oh,
working.
I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is Noah Savage at like a sales conference. It's like, working 9 to 9:30, then I'm back in the bathroom.
Well, when I really need it, I'm looking at that clock. It's 8:51. The meeting started at 8. I go, I can't go to the bathroom till 9. 9:05, I'm out there. I give myself a 15-minute on the toilet nap. There's a 10:30 break.
When you nap in the toilet, do you put your head against the wall, or do you just sit and still?
No, I go straight back.
Straight back?
Yeah, I go back, head's on the wall back here, pants are off. Pants are fully off. They're hanging on the stall. Shoes are in the sink.
I would think you would go to the side because there's like an easier lean.
I'll get down. Also, my caffeine intake of these things is insane. I get 1 cup of coffee on the way in. No, I have 1 cup of coffee when I first am there. Then I get 1 on the way in, then I drink. But I also get a Diet Coke. So before that first 9-10 nap, I'm had 3 caffeinated drinks.
Yeah.
I get 1 at the 10:30 break, and then I get 1 in the afternoon as well. And then it's usually like 5. It's time to
stay alive.
Get back on the wagon, as they say. What about chimp crazy? Should we talk about that?
My therapist was like, "Should I watch this? Should I watch this show?" I am responding right now.
Sorry.
You can't. This is the problem. This is why you need to hang out with your mice friends. You can't just like want me to react a certain way.
Mike, why did you laugh right then when I made a big thing and then what?
Well, it was the disparity in reaction from your level of excitement to her 0 level.
Exactly.
It's like you got hit in the head.
But
it's like a concussion.
Yeah.
But
It's an emotional concussion.
Is this not?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Is this not our whole relationship? Like, it's like Noah walking into like, a bakery and being like, cupcakes. And I'm like, okay. Like,
I saw some TikTok that was like, when your husband's love language is physical touch, but yours is being mean.
Yeah. Accurate. Oh, yeah. So my therapist was like, should I watch Chim Crazy? And I was like, no, I don't. I go, there's a line literally in the documentary where they're talking about women with like psychological issues who are like basically thinking that these chimpanzees are babies, like that they're children. And then the narrator is like, or whoever they're interviewing is like, and it ultimately results in tragedy.
Yeah.
There is no happy ending to the stories at all. I'm like,
No.
You know what you're getting. And then she was telling me about some other show that I will never watch where it's the same type of thing, but it's bears.
Oh, Grizzly Man or whatever.
And she was like, spoiler alert, the bears eat him. She's like,
he's
it's
like,
not
look
good.
at my friends. And then they're like, oh, should we eat this guy?
I'm like, there's literally that scene in Chim Crazy, spoiler alert, where he's like, oh, like my best little buddy, and like his nose has been completely eaten off. I'm like, yeah, no.
It's awful.
It's
awful,
horrible.
awful. It's honestly, I'll put it up there. At first, you're like, oh, this lady's kind of funny. It's like a new Tiger King, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the one attack in Connecticut is so...
I remember when that happened.
I know, but it's like one of the things that you wish you could unknow and not hear about. Well, I'm glad I brought that up. What else are we watching on?
But I think that even HBO, from like a marketing perspective, they were like pushing it like, isn't this so quirky?
Yeah.
Like, this is so funny how these people like get these exotic pets and they live in their house and like, look, he wears a diaper like a baby and he can flush the toilet or whatever. And you're like, like I don't even really see why like having any type of animal that size in your house would like make you feel better. And I'm like, truly shocked that someone would want. Like, I just, like, I don't know. I, like, even she got, like, the camel in her yard or whatever. I'm like, why are you doing this?
I always think when I see these wackos like this, I'm always like, I guess if you don't do sports or follow sports, you got a lot of time for other bullshit.
But also, she's putting a lot of time and effort into this. Like,
Right, but she doesn't watch football.
But I'm saying, like, she could put time and effort into other things. As I said to you when I was watching it, I was like, I don't understand if you love animals this much, why you don't become, like, a vet or, like, work at a zoo. These are jobs that exist. Like, you could, like, literally volunteer to, like, or get a paying job doing this kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't understand why you would be like, no. I gotta like breed chimps in my home. I gotta do it.
Because what do you really want to do? Whatever
Make
the
money.
fuck you want.
Oh,
I think whatever the fuck you want.
I don't know. But I do
some
think
weird
it's
sex
concerning.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's the vibe I got when I watched it.
Maybe.
Yep. Always comes down to that.
I think it's like some sort of strange, like, control thing. Like, I'm going to be the exception, you know? Like, I can do it even though other people couldn't do it.
Look, my chimp loves TV, and then it runs away, but it's on a bike chain. It's like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
If it's on a chain, if it's on a leash inside, this should not be your animal.
No.
Right.
Outside,
exactly.
if you're walking in public, you leash a dog. But inside, if it's on a leash, the dog's a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Your chimp shouldn't be on a leash at all times.
I mean, I feel like people have a blind spot for their own pets, obviously.
A what?
A blind spot.
You said a blind spot.
A blind spot.
You sound like Michael Jackson. Nah.
Do I sound like Michael Jackson?
And look like him.
You did say
I did hear. I can hear myself.
Wait, that's her old bit we used to do.
I know.
At the end of the song.
No, there's a comedian. I don't think he performs anymore, but he used to make me laugh so hard with this bit. And he was white dude. He did a really good Michael Jackson impression. And what's his name? Mark something. Anyway.
Zuckerberg.
No. And he would be like, he was like that one song. He was like, he started off like so nice, and it was like, do you remember when we fell in love? And you're like, wow, what a beautiful like romantic tale. And he's like, and then by the end, he's like doing a full on like, he's like, what about? And he's like kicking across the stage, and I mean, obviously got a huge reaction because people were like, first of all, core memory unlocked. Second of all, like, oh yeah, that was really deranged. Anyway, Michael Jackson, whatever happened to him?
Yeah, good guy.
Chimp crazy. Am I right? He had a chimp.
He was chimp crazy too. He had a little bit of it all, didn't he?
He sure did.
You got any announcements? I have a couple.
Announcements? Are you wrapping this up?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you are.
You got to go back to work. Go make money and give it to me.
Can I tell you something?
What?
You're
over it?
I don't know. I go to work.
Stay at home.
I don't want to do that.
Do
either.
it. You're a woman. Make the butter.
I can't stay at home because there's
do
mice.
Do the laundry
there's
in the
mice
river.
There.
Be with them.
The mice?
Yes. Raise them as your own. Cinderella style. Dee-dee-dee.
No. I do really like that little chubby mouse from Cinderella. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Gus Gus.
I like all the cartoon mouse and rats. I love Templeton. Nothing made me hungrier than watching that rat eat garbage.
Fair is a fair. yeah. I like it. Also, he's just like when he goes through all the things he's eating, and he's like, very gross cheese. I'm like, that is you.
It's my fantasy.
Oh, I meant to tell you, I had a factor last night. You know how you're eating
You
your
did?
factors? Yeah.
Do you like it?
No.
Well, that was $8.99. Venmo me. So
I will.
I've been eating Factor. Can you tell?
Factor is like 600 calories, and then it's like 600% of your daily sodium. It's like, it tastes like...
They're like, how are we not going to freeze this? And they were like, sodium. But it is very delicious. It's just it's a little morsel.
It's not delicious at all.
All right, let me do my announcements. And by the way, clip this for the internet.
What?
October.
What's happening?
I'm doing my announcements.
We didn't even do how old is that celebrity?
Oh yeah, we have to do that. Let's do that after this.
Okay.
October 5th, I'm headlining Fairfield Comedy Circle. Makeup date for the COVID. October 12th, 13th, or 11th and 12th, Newport, Rhode Island Comedy Festival. Thank you. All right, I have my How Old Is This Celebrity. It's a really good one. It's
All
gonna
right.
it's gonna shock you.
I have to do one, so go ahead.
All right, you can do. Should we let Mike play too?
Okay.
Reggie Miller. No looking, Mike.
Reggie Miller, 53.
He's 57.
He's 59.
Wow.
Doesn't it make you feel old?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, old. That's old.
Okay, my one for today is. Who's a good one? Oh, let's do Eric Adams. Top
Oh.
of mind.
I think he's 64.
62.
He is 64.
Wow.
Bing, 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 bing. What do I win? $150 from Samantha Wolff?
Yes, Samantha, if you're listening,
What's the pool at?
yeah, what is the pool at? Samantha, if you're listening and you can somehow prove it to me, you say, Samantha and I used to laugh because when she was dealing with the medical issue, we had to go to this like neurologist and they shook her head around, even though Sam was complaining of double vision. They shook her head around and they were like, remember these words, dog flower basket. And then they like shook her head around some more. And then Sam was like, it's not funny. She was in pain.
It is funny.
I know it is funny. She was like crying and they were like, and the doctor's like, and what were the words? She's like, dog flower basket. Anyway.
All right, Paul Rudd, I got one.
Oh yeah, Paul Rudd is
58.
56.
Wow, 55.
Wow.
I thought you would have gone the other way.
Wow. No, because I heard all the memes like he doesn't crack.
Yeah.
He black.
He does
black,
look
he
young.
don't crack.
I used to see him by my old office all the time, and he does look quite young.
Yeah, some of the ear in once.
Ear in.
That's
That's actually near my old office.
I know. I used to work at MTV. Ugh.
Have you watched those two comedians who do that like weird voice? They're like waiters. They're waiters at Bernie's, and they're like, "Oh, hey girl, did you have a like?" You know what I'm talking about?
No.
And like one of the interviewers was like, "What is this accent?" They're like, "It's just like brain rot. It like doesn't it doesn't mean anything." Yeah, makes me laugh.
All right. Well, also shout out to our new subscribers. We're up to a pretty large number.
FD.
People listening. People are hearing about the show. They're talking about it.
Are they?
I don't know.
Okay.
Our super fans are
Loving it.
Ollie, Jackie, Max. Oh, and A-Marie. Shout out A-Marie. She told me.
Why do you say her name so
Hey,
weird?
Marie. That's what I said. Hey, Marie, get
It's
over
not
here.
Marie. It's not. There's no Marie.
I say, hey, Marie, the pasta sauce is burning. Get in the kitchen.
It's not. It's like there's no. It's not like Marie. It's not like Marie Kondo. It's not
I
like
want-
that.
What is it then?
It's
Amory.
Amory. It's like Emily. Emery.
Amory.
Emery.
Never knew that.
Not Marie.
You know what it is? It's Emily with a Japanese accent. Amory.
Noah.
What? That's what it is. Anyway, I'd like her to comment. I'm part Chinese, so I can say whatever I want.
You're not Chinese.
Ed Pan. So I want her to comment on
Not a
how I
blood
did
relative.
how I did listening to you. I thought I did a great job.
Okay.
I thought I did a great job listening to everything she said. She's one of the best. My Trump's getting worse, huh?
Yeah, it is. That other guy got really good though. That's why he like stole your shine.
At the tippy top of the tippy tower.
Look at
That guy.
the emperor.
There's
Yeah.
some really good Kamalas online.
So Kamala does have a very specific voice, but then I was like, or does everyone have a specific voice once you listen to them so many times? Like when you hear all the sound clips, you know what I mean?
She talks like a complete weirdo, and her voice itself is weird, and she's always laughing at the wrong times. I mean,
She doesn't laugh at the wrong times.
what? That's
She
like her.
doesn't.
That's her defining characteristic.
She laughed at the wrong time once,
All
and
the
it
time.
became the meme.
All the time.
I don't think so.
Please,
I don't think so.
she does.
I mean, the best Trump impression thing that you do now is him like standing waiting to go on stage with his like weird gorilla arms
Yeah.
and just like he like doesn't know what to do with his like physical shape.
Yeah.
That's weird. That there's a lot of that. But who told him to do that?
That's good.
You like it?
That's a good.
Yeah, that's what he,
dance.
but when we stand up, you'll see his like the way Noah can imitate how he stands. Like it's almost like he's almost like kind of like lurching forward.
Here they are on camera.
All right, go ahead. Watch the lamp.
Stuff here.
Jesus.
He's like,
It's like Why did they tell him to dance like that? Why?
His arms are always too flaccid and his ties are too long. It's been true the whole time. Anyway, you gotta go back to work. Like, subscribe, comment on the YouTube channel.
Comment with a mouse if you've ever had a mouse.
No.
Okay, bye.
That's it. Turn off the camera.